Alright guys, so I asked on Twitter the other day that I'd love to see questions from you guys regarding what you'd like to see next in online and talking about the future. I want to avoid talking about gun running and everything that's supposed to come out with that, and I want to look ahead at future updates and future games potentially, so that's what I'm going to be discussing in this video. If you want to get involved and possibly featured in a video like this, go down in the description, follow me on Twitter, and just use the hashtag AskBoss, and you might find yourself featured in a video like this. But without the way, let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. So, our first question today comes from ST Exotic, who says, do you think Rockstar is going to release Gunrunning Part 2? So I love how we want to stop talking about gunrunning, but the next update is looking like a Gunrunning Part 2. And unfortunately, I do think they are going to release it. And I personally don't like this at all. I thought Gunrunning was an okay DLC. I thought the content was pretty cool. I didn't really love how it was delivered in this super drawn out drip feed and how most of the stuff was behind research walls. I think that was kind of dumb. And I think the fact there wasn't a whole lot of new content in terms of the vehicles was a little underwhelming. But I think it worked really well for Rockstar in terms of the number of players that were playing the game, the amount of people that were buying shark cards. So business-wise, it was a slam dunk. And if it's a slam dunk business-wise, then they're likely going to be doing it again. Now, I do think Part 2 does give them a chance to capitalize on some missed things, including vehicles, particularly aircrafts, potentially new weapons, clothing, and a whole lot more. So could Gunrunning Part 2 be amazing? Yeah, it could be. Is it something I'm necessarily going to love looking forward to? I can't say that all that much, but I'd love for Rockstar to prove me wrong. Our next question comes from King Iverson, who says, do you think you could give us your opinion on how much the next update will cost? Well, King Iverson, we obviously have no idea how much the next update is going to be because we don't know what the content is going to be like. But based off of the previous DLCs that Rockstar have added in the game, we can get a generally pretty good idea. And if it is going to be Gunrunning Part 2, then you can be expected to cost around the exact same amount. Anywhere from, when it's all said and done, to $40 to $50 million. And I would imagine it would have a bunch of research items as well. There'd be a ton of drip feed content. Really, at this point in time, unless it's a small in-between filler update, most of the DLCs, in order for you to buy everything, is going to cost you $30 to $50 million. That's just the way it is. So every time DLCs come out and once you've done spending your money, you want to start resaving back up again because $30 to $40 million is typically what it's going to cost you in order to get everything with these updates for online. Our next question comes from Jamie, who says, do you think we will ever see a normal DLC again that isn't related to making money? That is a great question, Jamie, as it has been a while since we've gotten something like that. I think the last non-money-making update, aside from Cunning Stunt Special Vehicle Circuit, because that was just a filler update, was Cunning Stunts that was released in July of 2016. So really over a year since we've had an update that doesn't consist of killing each other and using our weapons to just create all-out war. I wish Rockstar would go back to maybe another passive update. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this theme would work, but Lowriders was passive and I really enjoyed that. Ill-Gotten Gains was passive and I enjoyed that for the most part too. So another update like that would be a lot of fun. I think Grand Theft Auto Online is really turning into all-out war, and I wish that there would maybe go back to something like a quality of life update or something like that. Speaking of a quality of life update, this question comes from Exarity, who says, do you think Rockstar Games will ever bring out a nightclub/nightlife DLC like the Ballad of Gay Tony? That would be amazing. I've said if you have not played the Ballad of Gay Tony, it's one of the best expansions of all time for GTA 4. That would be amazing. There's a ton of like nightclubs in the games. There's the Bahama Mamas West, obviously, that we have access to, or we had access to at one point. There's Tequila La, there's Cockatoos. There's a ton of interiors in the game that we could utilize. Rockstar just haven't added to the game. So that would be so cool. They could add a ton of other things into the game, like, jobs that we could do for the various nightclubs, like running the businesses. There could be various outfits and suits and nice clothing that we could wear. So I think that there is a ton of possibilities to make an update like that work. Our next question comes from Oscar, who says, if Tuners and Outlaws becomes an actual thing, do you think Rockstar will add special body kits like LB Works, Rocket Bunny, etc.? So that would obviously be very cool. We know Tuners and Outlaws was a concept created by the GTA Wise guy, and obviously I think that would be awesome. If you guys have seen that trailer, then you know what the theme is about and how it involves racing and modifying cars, choosing to be the good guy or the bad guy. I think that would be incredible. What I think is a more likely scenario is Rockstar actually doing an import-export DLC Part 2 and including some of the ideas that GTA Wise Guy had mentioned in his Tuners and Outlaws. That's actually a great question from Ash, who says, do you think Rockstar should do an import-export Part 2, repossessing cars and doing missions like the Devin Weston ones in story mode? So that's what I could ultimately see happening. I don't think Rockstar would obviously call it Tuners and Outlaws because I think that idea belongs to GTA Wise Guy, but Rockstar could do something along the lines of Import-Export Part 2 and incorporate a lot of his ideas. And I also like the idea of incorporating ideas from single player, maybe importing and exporting the cars a different way rather than just driving them from point A to point B, putting them on the back of a truck, putting them on a boat, putting them on a cargo plane and, flying them out of San Andreas. That would actually be really cool if we were able to do something like that. So I think the ideas for Import and Export Part 2, in my opinion, are way better than Gunrunning Part 2. Maybe it's just the fact I like Import Export better than Gunrunning, but I think that would be an amazing DLC to get in online. All right, moving on. Our next question comes from Tom, who says, would you like to see a police type DLC come to online? Simple answer to that is yes, Tom. That sounds awesome. That update sounds incredible. I've touched on this in the past that a police update would be amazing if it featured a website that had police cars that we could buy and that we could, own and store and customize. That would be really cool. I've talked about that a ton in other videos, but yeah, bottom line is a police update would be amazing. All right, so let's end the last part of this Q&A by talking about some other games outside of GTA, but are still kind of in the Rockstar family. This first question comes from Christian Franco, who said, GTA 5 did extremely well when it released and then re-released. Do you believe Leslie Benzies game Everywhere can top GTA 5? So I don't think it's going to top it in terms of players or sales or money it makes because it's a brand new game. But it is Leslie Benzies, and we know he is the mastermind behind the GTA series. And I think it's going to be incredible. So I really don't know what to expect quite yet, as they haven't released a ton of details. Is it going to be a GTA rival? Is it going to be a GTA clone? We're really not too sure. But I have faith and I trust Leslie Benzies, and I think he's got something special in the works. So we really are just going to have to wait and see what he is going to do here. But needless to say, I am pretty excited. Building on top of that, Anthony says, what do you wish will be in the upcoming game Everywhere that's not already in GTA 5? So again, we don't really know a whole lot about this game, but I love map continuity. So what I mean by that is going from city to city, location to location, without loading screens, without barriers, without walls. It would be awesome, to give you a GTA example, if we could go from Los Santos, go to the airport, hop in a plane, and then we're in, Liberty City in an instant. And it's a great way to just kind of traverse around the different universes. So that's kind of the one thing I want with Everywhere. Just be able to go from place to place and not feel like I'm trapped on an island, which that kind of feels like it in GTA 5. Our next question comes from Eugene, who says, since Take-Two have confirmed GTA Online DLC will continue after Red Dead Redemption 2 is released, do you think a map expansion is still possible? Kind of building off our last question. I don't think so. I think that that's too much work for Rockstar to do, so I think they're just going to continue to do their DLCs that we see and experience in the game. Would a map expansion make them a ton of money? Yes, but I also think it would cost them a lot of money in terms of manpower too, so I don't see that being a thing. And our final question comes from Brannon Randall, who says, will you be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 when it comes out? Absolutely. I plan on making, informational videos, tips, guides, tricks, Easter eggs, so things that'll help you just play the game a little bit easier. So I'm definitely excited for that when it hopefully releases in spring 2018. But anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and hopefully you maybe learned a thing or two. If you want to get involved in the next video, as I mentioned, all you got to do is go in the description, follow me on Twitter, and use the hashtag AskBoss, and you might find yourself featured in the next one. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.